I never thought I'd be sitting here, typing out something like this, but here I am. My name's Jake, and for years I thought I knew everything about my wife, Emily. We'd been together for about 5 years, and honestly, I thought we had a good thing going. We were planning our wedding. I was working my ass off at my job, and she was supposed to be the one I'd grow old with. Or at least that's what I kept telling myself. But everything changed in a matter of days. It started with little things. She'd be secretive about her phone, always had her phone glued to her hand. At first, I thought she was just hiding something innocent, maybe a surprise or a gift. But then she started getting defensive whenever I asked about her messages or her late nights. Little lies, little evasions, and I let it slide because I didn't want to believe the worst. One morning, I noticed her belly looked a little different, more swollen than usual. She kept saying she was just bloated or that she was gaining weight from the wedding stress. She even snapped at me once, telling me I was overreacting, that she was fine and everything was normal, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. My gut was telling me she was hiding something, and for the first time in years I started to question whether I really knew her at all. Then I caught her. Not in a dramatic, cinematic way, but in a way that shattered everything I thought I knew. I was at her house, dropping off some documents, and I saw her laptop open, sitting on the kitchen table. The screen was unlocked and I saw a message pop up, a text from someone named Alex. The message was simple: "Can't wait to see you tonight, I've missed you so much." My heart stopped. I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. Who the hell was Alex? And why was she texting him like that? I didn't think. My hand reached out and I clicked on her messages. That's when I saw the entire conversation. It wasn't just a friendly chat, it was flirty, raw, and explicit. They'd been texting for weeks, maybe longer, about meeting up, the sex they'd had, how much they missed each other. My stomach churned. My wife Emily was cheating on me with her brother's best friend, and she'd been lying about her pregnancy too. I felt sick. My mind was racing. I couldn't believe I was looking at this. I'd thought she loved me, that we were building a future. But apparently, I was just some guy she was pretending to be happy with while she was screwing around behind my back. The depth of her betrayal hit me like a freight train. I'd trusted her, had even planned to surprise her with a proposal, and here she was, sneaking around, lying, betraying me in the worst ways imaginable. It was late at night when I finally confronted her. I couldn't hold it in anymore. I called her, told her I knew everything. The moment I said those words, everything changed. She tried to deny it, of course. Said I must be mistaken, that I was overthinking, that it was just a stupid joke or a misunderstanding. But I'd seen the messages, I'd read every word. There was no denying what I'd found. And her reaction, bitchy, defensive, and full of lies. She told me I was paranoid, insecure, that I was crazy for suspecting her of cheating on me. Before our wedding day, she called me controlling and jealous when I was just trying to understand what the hell was going on. Honestly, I felt humiliated. I felt betrayed in ways I never thought possible. I'd always prided myself on being a good guy, loyal, honest. And now I was faced with this, her lying to my face while she was out screwing around. Her excuses were weak as hell. She said the guy, Alex, was just a friend, that she was pregnant with my child, and that she loved me. But then I saw her eyes, the way she looked at him in her messages, the way she responded to him. There was no love there, just lust, betrayal, and a deep, painful lie I couldn't ignore anymore. After I saw the messages, I didn't sleep that night. I just sat there, staring at my phone, trying to process what I'd found. My mind kept going back to all the moments we'd shared, our wedding plans, her pretending everything was perfect, her telling me she loved me and was excited to start a family. All of it felt like a lie now. I kept asking myself how I missed the signs, how I didn't see the truth right in front of me. The next morning I confronted her again, this time face to face. I told her I knew about Alex. Her reaction was nothing like the sweet, loving wife I'd known. She snapped, rolled her eyes, and started throwing out insults. Said I was paranoid, insecure, that I was ruining everything because I was jealous and crazy. She looked at me with that bitchy smirk, like she enjoyed twisting the knife. She said she loved me, that she was just confused, that she'd never cheat on me, and that I was just overreacting. But I wasn't stupid. I could see right through her bullshit. Her eyes flickered with guilt, but she was trying to hide it behind that bitchy attitude. I felt like I was going to explode. I told her to pack her stuff, that I didn't want her in my house anymore. But she kept arguing, throwing more lies and excuses at me. That she needed time to think, that she loved her pregnancy, that I was the one causing the problems. The pregnancy part hit me hard. I'd always believed she was pregnant, and now I wasn't sure what to believe. Was she really pregnant, or was she just trying to keep me around while she screwed someone else? The thought made my stomach turn. I didn't want to believe it, but deep down I knew the truth. I could see it in her eyes. She'd been lying to me from the start. She'd hidden her affair, probably even from her own family, and had been lying about the pregnancy just to keep me from walking away. I felt humiliated, angry, and utterly betrayed. How could she do this to me? How could she lie so effortlessly, all while acting like she was the innocent victim? I started to realize that everything I thought I knew about her was a lie. The woman I'd loved, the woman I was about to marry, she was a different person completely. I kept asking myself if I should even try to save this, or if I should just walk away. But the truth is, I was broken. My trust was shattered, and I didn't know if I could ever look at her the same way again. The more I thought about it, the more I understood that her lies ran deeper than I initially thought. She'd been sneaking around, probably cheating on me for months. She was the perfect actress, smiling, pretending to be excited for our wedding, pretending to love me, all while scheming behind my back. I felt like a fool. All the plans, the promises we'd made, I'd been played. I wanted to scream, to cry, to do something reckless, but mostly I just felt numb. As I watched her pack her bags and leave that morning, I realized I had a choice. Stay and fight, or walk away and accept that I'd been completely duped. I kept replaying her words, how she said she loved me, how she claimed she was pregnant with my child. And all I could think was how much I'd been used, how everything I believed in had been a lie. And even now, I couldn't completely let go of the hope that maybe, just maybe, I was wrong. Maybe she really was pregnant, and maybe she truly loved me. But a part of me knew better. I knew deep down that I'd been played for a fool, and I didn't know if I could ever trust her again. That night after she left, I found myself alone in our apartment, and I couldn't sleep. My head was spinning with everything I'd uncovered. I kept thinking about her lying to my face, the way she dismissed everything I told her as paranoia, even though I had the messages to prove it. It was like I'd been living in a dream, no, a nightmare, where the woman I loved was nothing but a master manipulator. I remember sitting on the couch, staring at my hands, feeling this combination of rage and sadness. I was angry at her for cheating, at myself for not seeing it sooner, and at the whole universe for letting me get played like this. I'd always believed in honesty, loyalty, and trust. I thought those were the cornerstones of a real relationship. But now I knew better. Trust was a fragile thing, easily broken, and I'd just lost mine. Over the next few days, everything felt surreal. I couldn't focus at work, couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw her face, that bitchy smirk she gave when she was lying. I kept replaying that moment when I first saw the messages, her texting Alex, talking about sex, about missing each other. It was like a punch in the stomach every time. I had no idea how she managed to keep up her act for so long, how she'd been lying about the pregnancy, about everything. Meanwhile, she kept making excuses. Every call, every message from her, she'd insist she loved me and that she was confused. Said she didn't mean to hurt me, that she was just overwhelmed, that she didn't want our wedding to be ruined. The worst part was her trying to play the victim, acting like I was overreacting, that I was the one causing trouble. That's what made me see she was relentless. She could lie with a straight face, even as I knew she'd betrayed me in the worst way. I wanted to believe her at first, I really did. I even tried to give her the benefit of the doubt, telling myself maybe it was just a drunken mistake or a moment of weakness. But then I remembered the texts, the messages, the way she responded. There was no mistake, no misunderstanding. She'd been screwing around with Alex behind my back, and she'd been lying about everything, including her pregnancy. I started to think about what this all meant for me. Should I just walk away? Would I ever be able to trust anyone again? Every time I thought about her, I felt this gnawing emptiness inside. It was like a piece of me had been ripped out and I didn't know how to put it back. I thought about confronting her again, maybe demanding the truth, but honestly, I knew what I'd find. More lies. More bullshit. The thing that really hurt was that she always played the victim. When I asked her why she did it, she'd say she was confused, that she didn't mean for it to happen, that she was just lonely. But I saw right through her. She was a bitch, petty, manipulative, and selfish. She loved to lie, loved to twist things around to make herself look innocent. That was who she was, an expert at hiding the truth behind a mask of innocence. I realized I had to make a decision. I could keep going down this rabbit hole, trying to unravel her lies, or I could accept that I'd been betrayed in the worst way and move on. Honestly, part of me wanted to fight for the relationship, forgive her and try to rebuild what we lost. But another part knew that trust was gone, and once it's broken, it's nearly impossible to fix. Maybe I was just fooling myself, clinging to the hope that things could be different. In the end, I knew I couldn't live like this. Not with her lying, cheating, and pretending everything was fine. I had to cut her out, even if it broke me in the process. I've never felt so alone, so betrayed, and so lost in my life. But I also knew I deserved better. I deserved someone who wouldn't lie to me, who wouldn't betray me like this. And as painful as it is to admit, I think I'm finally starting to accept that maybe I need to let her go, no matter how much it hurts. The days that followed were like a blur. I threw myself into work, trying to drown out the chaos in my head, but nothing really worked. Everywhere I looked, I saw her face or thought about that stupid, lying smile she always used when she was scheming. I kept asking myself how I could have been so blind, how I missed the signs, how I failed to see the woman I loved was just pretending to be everything she was. One thing I couldn't escape was the feeling that she was still lying somewhere. Even after she left, I found myself checking her phone, her social media, trying to find any clue that could tell me whether she was telling the truth about the pregnancy, about everything. And honestly, I didn't trust any of her explanations anymore. She'd been so convincing in her lies, so good at hiding her true self. I kept questioning whether she really was pregnant or if she just lied about that too to keep me hooked. About a week after she left, I decided I had to dig deeper. I couldn't just sit here and wonder. If she was hiding something, I needed to find out what it was. I enlisted the help of a private investigator, thinking maybe that would give me some answers. I didn't want to believe she was still sneaking around, but I couldn't ignore the gut feeling that she was. That night I sat there in my apartment, staring at my phone, waiting for the update. The investigator's report came the next morning. Turns out she'd been meeting Alex, her brother's best friend, more than I ever knew. They'd been sneaking around behind my back, going to hotels and even seeing each other at her place when I wasn't around. The report showed photos of her with him, holding hands, kissing, and more. The worst part, they'd been doing it for months. Months while I was planning our wedding, while I thought she was excited to marry me, while she was lying through her teeth about being pregnant. I felt sick all over again. That was the final nail in the coffin. I couldn't keep pretending I was okay with her lies. I thought about confronting her again, but what was I supposed to say? Hey, I found out you're cheating on me with my brother's best friend and you're lying about being pregnant. I knew she would just spin more shit, deny everything, or blame me for being paranoid. Honestly, at that point, I was past caring about her excuses. I just wanted her out of my life completely. But then, something else happened. A few days later, I got a call from her, crying and begging. Said she was sorry, that she loved me and that she'd been such a bitch to me. Said she didn't mean for any of this to happen. I listened in silence, feeling numb. She asked me to forgive her, that she'd stop seeing Alex, that she'd be honest from now on. But I didn't say a word, I just hung up. I knew I couldn't trust her, not anymore. Her tears, her apologies, they meant nothing to me now. They were just more lies, more manipulation. That moment made me realize how deep the betrayal went. She lied about her pregnancy, cheated on me with someone I thought was a close friend, and had been lying about her feelings for months. I kept asking myself, how could she be so selfish, so ruthless? I was angry, devastated, and honestly, I felt broken. I believed she was the one, and now I saw her for what she truly was, a manipulative, lying bitch. I wondered how I didn't see it sooner, how I'd been so stupid to trust her. Now I'm left staring at a future I never wanted. I don't know what comes next, but I do know I can't stay in this toxic mess. I have to move on, even if it kills me. I never thought I'd be the guy to get played like this, but here I am. The only thing I know for sure is that I deserve better, and I'll never trust her again. Not after what she did. Not after the lies, the cheating, the betrayal. I just hope someday I can forgive myself for believing in her, for thinking she was the one. It's been a few weeks since she's been gone, and honestly, it's been a hell of a ride, more like a nightmare I can't wake up from. Every day I wake up with this gnawing ache in my chest, a mixture of anger, sadness, and that stupid hope that maybe she'd come back and admit everything. But deep down, I know that's not happening. She's too good at lying, too good at covering her tracks, and I've seen too much of her true face now. The thing that's hit me hardest is how much I trusted her. I mean, I really thought she was the one. We talked about marriage, a future, kids. Hell, I even started imagining us growing old together. And then I found out all those plans were just bullshit. She was screwing around behind my back, lying about her pregnancy and probably laughing at how gullible I was. It's a sick feeling, realizing I was just some fool she was using to cover her own ass. I spent days trying to piece everything together. I looked at the messages, the photos, the emails, anything that might tell me why she did it. Was it just sex? Was she really pregnant, or was that just her way of keeping me hooked? Honestly, the more I think about it, the more I realize I'll probably never get the real answers. She's too good at hiding her tracks. Still, I keep replaying everything in my mind, trying to understand what went wrong. How did I miss all the signs? How could I have been so blind? In the midst of all this chaos, I started doing some serious soul searching. I asked myself if I wanted to keep chasing her lies or if I was better off walking away. The truth is, I'm tired. Tired of being played, tired of feeling like I'm constantly on edge. I can't stand the idea of her pretending to be pregnant, pretending to love me while she's out screwing Alex and lying about everything. It makes my stomach churn just thinking about it. I've never felt so betrayed in my life. I also reached out to some close friends, people I trust. I told them everything, and surprisingly, they were furious on my behalf. They told me I deserve better, that I should focus on myself now. One of them even suggested I get therapy, because honestly, this kind of betrayal messes with your head. I think they're right. I've been walking around with this heavy weight of anger and grief, but maybe it's time to start healing. Or at least trying to. Part of me still wonders if I should contact her again, demand more answers, or just tell her to leave me alone forever. But I realize that's pointless. She's already lied so much that any attempt at conversation feels like banging my head against a wall. I don't even know if she's capable of telling the truth anymore. All I know is she's broken something inside me, something I don't think I can fix. And the worst part, I still hope I'll someday find a way to forgive her, even if I know that's a long shot. So I've decided to cut ties completely. No more calls, no more texts, no more waiting around for her to come clean. I'm starting over, even if it's just in my mind. I want to believe that somewhere out there, someone will actually love me for who I am, not who she pretended to be. It's embarrassing to admit, but I still carry a flicker of hope that I'll find happiness again. Just maybe without all this bullshit hanging over my head. The lesson I'm taking from all this: never ignore the little signs. Trust your gut, even when it's easier to deny the truth. Because if you don't, you end up like me, broken, betrayed, and trying to pick up the pieces of a life you thought was real. I don't regret loving her, but I do regret believing her lies for so long. Moving forward, I'll be more cautious, more guarded, and definitely more aware that some people are just good at hiding who they really are. Now, looking back, I realize just how much this whole ordeal has changed me. I used to trust easily, believed that honesty and loyalty were the foundations of any real relationship. Turns out I was naive. That trust was shattered into a million pieces, and honestly, it's going to take a long time to even come close to feeling whole again. But I've learned something important. Sometimes you have to go through hell just to come out the other side a little stronger. I've started focusing on myself more. The first step was cutting her out of my life completely. Blocked her from everything: social media, messages, emails. I don't want to hear her lies anymore, don't want to see her face, don't want to be reminded of what I lost. It's like I had to erase her from my mind to even begin healing. Every day is a struggle, but I remind myself that I deserve better. I deserve honesty, respect, and someone who actually loves me, not just someone pretending to. As much as it hurts, I've come to accept that some things are just beyond repair. Trust, in her case, was broken beyond any hope of fixing. I have to let go of the idea that she'll come back and confess everything. She won't. She's a liar, and that's who she is, someone who manipulates others and doesn't think twice about destroying lives just to feed her own selfish needs. I have to move on, not just for myself, but to show that I won't be played like a fool anymore. In the end, I've learned that life is too short to waste on people who don't value you. I used to think that love was enough to survive anything. But now I see that love, without honesty and respect, is just a lie on its own. I hope whoever reads this understands that if you're ever in a similar situation, don't ignore the signs. Don't let yourself be a victim of deception. Trust your instincts, stand your ground, and don't be afraid to walk away from someone who lies and cheats. Because in the end, your happiness and sanity matter more than sticking around and pretending everything's okay. I'm not sure what the future holds, but I do know I won't let this break me. I'll pick up the pieces, find my strength again, and maybe someday, I'll look back at this and see it as a painful lesson I had to learn. But for now, I just want to heal, move forward, and remember that even in the darkest moments, there's a chance to find a little light. It's going to take time, but I'll get there. I have to, because I deserve that much better, honest, real love.